What's happening, everybody? We're back here on In Between Media's channel. It's In Between the Screens. Brian, Alyssa, and Jackson are here for the Week 4 Eviction recap here on Big Brother 28. Alyssa, how are we feeling? We got Lyric out the door. A little excitement popping your way?
I'm singing my way through the rest of this week. I am not gonna lie, I was shocked. I didn't know who was gonna go, but I'm not disappointed by what happened.
And Jackson, your boy Drew, he dodged the bullet, made it through. I mean, I guess you got to be sweating and wiping the brow a little bit. Or, where have you? Have you been rooting for him?
I've been kind of hot and cold with them. I wanted him to stay for a little bit. I thought he had the power and then wasn't using it on purpose. And then, so I've literally, this whole week, I've been up and down on him. I'm glad that he won the Battle of the Block. I'm glad that Melody stayed. Lyric took her Hawaiian roller coaster ride away. Like we're good. We're good right now. Floaters be gone.
Yes, we got to wave goodbye. And folks, if you're sitting there thinking, wait, what are they talking about? Well, you haven't watched Thursday's Eviction episode, so hit pause. Hope you don't remember anything that we've said. But yes, we're recapping everything that happened through Haley's HOH, her horribly wonderful, just awkward HOH. There's so much to talk to, so much to unpack here. But like, really, let's just keep opening it up here with the eviction. Lyric goes home. We get to see, Melody makes it another Melody. Oh my God. When am I going to get it straight? When am I going to get it straight?
Never.
Not gonna
but Drew pulls off the Blockbuster. I really didn't see him winning it there at the beginning. I was like, there's no way. He didn't seem like a puzzle guy to me.
I'm not gonna lie, watching this Blockbuster, I know they're little challenges, but could you imagine losing when basically you're sitting down and doing one of those jumbo kid puzzles? You know, the ones like this big, and it's like 6 pieces. Like, that's what this was. And I don't know, I felt like it was a pretty close race, but I wasn't expecting Drew to win.
Not on my board there. Jackson, how'd you feel watching that?
I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I mean, it looked like both him and Melody were looking good.
Neck to neck.
Yeah, we're keeping up. And so I was kind of like, after the first like 10 seconds, I was 10, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. I'm like, all right, I think I'm okay with how this will turn out. And sure enough.
And honestly, Lyric had it on the first half. It wasn't until she got that second layer puzzle. She went to go put the edge on there and she flipped it. I was like, oh, she's done. She's toast. She's out of here. And honestly, Alyssa and I were sitting there watching the Kalshi odds. Dude, they took a huge turn. As soon as Drew got down to that last piece, everybody knew exactly what was happening. It was Lyric right out the door. Melody did just enough to save herself. Couldn't save her bestest friend. Is that what she called it? Goodness, I can't stand Lyric. It's too much. I'm ready for her to be back with Rome, for those 16 days that they fell in love. It's about time. I'm sure it's tugging on their heartstrings too much being far apart.
It is a nice thought, like that she gets eliminated, but she gets to be with her love. And they get to have a little whatever, a little podcast or a little show or just hang out, they can do something with this that they couldn't do before, because we don't have to focus on this. I don't want to rant. I think if people have listened before, I've been pretty open about how I feel about Lyric's game. I get there's all different strategies, but the past 2 episodes just confirmed, her goal and intention was to be a floater. She said that I need the strongest people to protect me, not so that I can join them, so that I can have people that are part of my team, but so I can sit here and do nothing and just be this dainty little thing that's protected. And I don't know, it's just come on. I wanted to see some oomph. Honestly, I wanted to see a plot twist. I wanted to see her actually start playing game and come back from it, but she could not.
A couple of these players just don't seem like they're actually capable of playing the game, and she kind of fell into that category for me.
I didn't mind some of the game that she was playing. She was active. She was active out there on the live feeds. I will say, out of the people, I think Melody is much better TV. I think her DR sessions, even on tonight's episode, were great. I love her getting on national television and just ripping, calling multiple people a bitch. Like it gives me that Brittany energy, Brittany Haynes energy, and I love it. I love her getting out there and being like that, and she's doing it, and she's the hero edit right now against the villain of the week. Can we please dive into Haley's treacherous week that she's had?
Okay, I wanted to start off with the transition there, the conversation that Melody and Haley had there after Melody got nominated, and her whole, so I heard you were talking shit about me. You know what? Yeah, you got me. I did. I called you a bitch. I said there was a few things. And then Haley proceeds to ask her, well, if you were in my shoes, would you put me up? And what does Melody do? She is straight up with the girl. She's honest with her and says, yes, I'd put her up. And Haley turns it into the diary thing. Oh, well, I'm going to have to put you up because you said you were going to come after me. Bitch, if she said no, lied to your face, are you telling me you'd be okay with that? Like, no. You're just looking for any excuse to put her up. And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to put her up. But it's just the fact that that's what you're using is like, well, that makes sense. I'm just going to put you up then because you said that. Like, no, she is straight up. Alyssa and I were talking about it. There's reason to team up with her. She hates you, but she is still willing not to lie to your face and be straight up with you. That's somebody that's a teammate. Maybe not somebody that you'll like, but that's somebody that you can team up with and nobody sees fucking coming.
Yeah, in a similar situation, it was the same thing that Kamu did to Jason last week of put him in that position of where he was selling his safety, and then he sits and write down, and were you selling safety? Well, what's he going to do? Say if lie, then he's going to get put up for lying to Kamu. If he tells him the truth, yeah, I was promised people safety. Oh, boom. He already knew he was going to put him up. He just found his reason.
Makes no freaking sense. But yeah, Haley's HOH absolutely bothered me this week. Alyssa, what you got for us?
Well, I was just going to say there was a scene, and I think it was tonight's episode, or maybe it was yesterday's, where Dee is talking to Barrett, and she's like, she's talking about the red corner, and she's like, you just kind of have to kiss their ass. And that's what I felt from Haley this week. It felt very emotional, like making decisions that she then tried to create like a strategy or create a justification for an emotional move. And some of them she was able to pull off, but I think that she kind of did want people to come in there and kiss her ass. And then the one person that does that, like the boldest, is Lyric. Right? She sits down, she's like, you're so badass. I've wanted to work with you from week one. So finally, like, she's getting kind of what I think she wanted, and then not from the right source. Like it was not the same delivery from Lyric because it doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah, I mean, Haley definitely had the HOH-itis of this week of getting in there and boom, instantly like this is her thing. I mean, on the first night when she gets it, she's trying to call people out. She's trying to call out half the house for talking shit and don't eat my snacks. Well, I hate to break it to you, nobody wanted to eat your snacks anyway.
Sugar-free snacks.
Dude, that was so cringe. Like you can go ahead and leave. You know who you are. You can go ahead and leave. Nobody does anything. They just sit
like
there.
What are they supposed to do? Single themselves out?
Yeah, and like this is a week, girl. It is one of the 12 weeks, and that it is interesting to see how like the power can go to people so quickly. And Haley's been talking about having a rough past 3 weeks, and that was something like all the other girls really harped on. And I'm curious, how do you think that life after HOH just in week 5 is going to go for Haley?
Well, hopefully it won't be too hard for her because she's such a pretty face. I'm not saying that to be mean. That is a that is a callback to what she had said, that she couldn't believe this person was able to talk to her because she's got such a pretty face.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, Drew's just fumbling over himself. It must be because I have a pretty face. She also hasn't been a have-not. At this point, everybody's been a have-not. She hasn't been one since week 1. So the last 3 weeks, she's been sitting pretty just on that alone. So I wonder what has been just hitting her so hard these last few weeks. Not being on the block, that's for damn sure.
The fact that she's not individually winning, I guess, because that's the only thing that could be going on.
Right, because she has a solid alliance. Like she has the red corner.
That has one power every single week.
Yeah.
Like she has been completely fine. She hasn't been, and for the nerve for her to say that she's had a shitty 3 weeks to Mallory, who has been on the block twice. had to
Mhm.
fight for herself to get her off. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wrong
Mallory's not
audience.
had it easy so far. Her ride or die ditched her week
Mhm.
one when she went up on the block, and has come back with her tail between her legs a bit. So yeah, it's just the perspective of some of these house guests, the ones that like fall behind. Honestly, I saw a tweet tonight. Somebody said, if you take a shot every time Chuck is on TV, you can drive home. Like the edit some of these players are getting, him being like, it's so great. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, I
My
don't
first
think
round
I
pick in
saw. So I was just gonna say, yeah, don't think I saw Lala tonight at all.
which I think's
Mm-mm.
good. Old girl was getting a little big for her britches there those first few weeks, so I think it's good that she needs to realize she's kind of like a middle of the pack kind of thing. She doesn't need to be running. She doesn't need too much attention on herself. Same thing with Barrett. Barrett was my first round pick there in our Big Brother fantasy league, and I thought he was going to come out guns blazing. Kind of like that he's been a little mellow, under the radar a bit. Talked about the block, but hasn't seen it yet.
Mhm.
But there's a handful of these players that I guess it's actually just Angela and Barrett are the only two that haven't seen the block yet. Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, and D and Devons.
If you guys had to give this season a grade so far, I'm going to go old school grades A, B, C, D, F. None of these other letters that exist now. What are you giving this season in comparison to others?
We'll go B minus.
Oh,
C plus right now. C. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been good. It's been. I mean, the fact that we had a blindside tonight really definitely has a chance to change the course of this game, and is really what I think this season needed right now, because nobody wanted to sit here and watch a steamroll. Nobody wanted to watch the red corner
yeah.
keep going and then just like slowly one by one pick them all off, and then you're left with Kamu, Chuck, and Haley at the end. Like, nobody wanted to see that.
Right. I think I would have given it a little bit lower, like maybe a average C, because it's been so boring. I know we've had like 3 people. We've got Devons and D and Angela that are in, but still, even with that, it feels a little bit like Boston Rob's season in Survivor. Like he just kind
Ugh.
of bullies everyone into staying together, doing what he wants. There's not really bullying going on like that, maybe from like the red corner side, but how do you think the tool shed is going to recover from this? Because obviously they were not aware.
It feels like the factions within these main groups are showing how prominent they are. I think everybody knows that there's two big alliances, but it's also pretty known that you have at least one, if not two more mini factions within these alliances. And I think it's just we're finally going to get real division. And I think that's when these games get messy. It's when we break out of just the two because they realize, all right, hey, I'm on the bottom, like the smaller half of my alliance, so I need to figure out how to find some leverage to get out. And that's when things start to get really messy because it's not just you're either us or me. It's, well, you're either you or me, but my team is also either this group and not, group B. So I think that's really what's going to break this up here coming into these next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting looking at it. I think there was more of a players knew about this faction. I mean, Lyric even came out of the house and talked to Julie in an interview and named who was in the red corner, and then knows of the people that are kind of have themselves in that voting block together in the tool shed. But I think with Yash being not included on the vote, I think that, and he knows that he's not in a tight alliance with Chuck, Kami, or Haley.
Right.
That he now knows that he is out of, like, outside of the house,
The
and will be
others.
looking for. Yeah, he is in the others. And there isn't a big alliance, a big voting block. I think this will pull Drew away. Barrett, I think, will still be a floater, but I think would more be apt to pull a trigger at the red corner versus someone like taking a shot at Drew. Or
the icon.
Josh. I think it'd be smart if you can try to take this this core of Mallory, Melody, Drew, try to pull Yash. Make sure you have Barrett on your side, and then you can, with that, you can have that connection to D. You can have you can have that connection to Devins. You can have that connection to Angela. But turn these guns.
No, I like that.
That would be a nice little group. Kind of,
Yeah.
and even if some of them can still play the middle, like disguise that a bit, like hide out in their other alliances or look like they're just floating for a while, that's not a bad call. How many people are left? Is it 12 now?
So we've had 4 evictions.
13. Started with 17.
Okay.
Because we had one extra. Yeah. We got the D came in at 17, which threw off everybody because we're like, oh, it's just going to be the 16. That's all it ever is. But yeah, so 13 left.
So there's 10 votes for next week that are going to be in there. That 5 of them, they could hold half. That
you need 6 to win. Yeah.
Man, before we go a little bit too further with next week, I still want to. There's still a little bit more that happened this week that we have not.
Oh, yeah, unpack it, man. Get that shovel.
So
let's dig it open.
Originally, we had Melody. We had Melody, Taylor, and Drew put up on the block. Mm-hmm. And with the target to be possibly Melody, and then pretty quickly it shifted to Drew.
Right.
And then Drew had no idea. He was going upstairs and talking to Haley, and it was like, oh my gosh, I like our plan's working. That they definitely think I'm a pawn. Mallory's telling me I'm in danger. And they're just like, yeah, that's it's great. It's working. The whole time they are planning to get him out. Yeah. And then he's trying. There is finally veto happens. Taylor wins it, pulls herself off the block. They throw up Lyric. And everybody's kind of still pretty strong on like, all right, cool. Lyric's chill. This is still Drew. This is still Drew. Mm-hmm. They have Barrett in on it, to where in the episode Barrett said, yeah, no, I don't really want to vote out Drew, but I don't want to be a target of the house, which grow a pair of balls, 1. But 2, he was fully set on, all right, cool, it's Drew. And it wasn't until I believe yesterday or last night.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. when you have D and Devin start tossing around the idea of, wait, Drew's not coming for us. Drew is a number with us. Why don't we just keep Drew? We could take out Melody, because if we take out Melody, then that means Drew has nobody else. We could pull him in as a number, which is a really good strategy.
Well, and he's a target for both their groups, which they're double dipping. So they're like, okay, he looks like the actual double dipper. Let's keep that rocking and rolling. Yeah, I think it was live feeds cut at like 10, 11 p.m. And then at 4 a.m., they must have kicked back on, because all of a sudden Kalshi had a huge jump in the market there that switched that over. While I interrupt that real quick, Jackson, like and subscribe, folks. We appreciate you listening. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. If you can keep us rolling right there. We see how many people watching. Yeah, give us a like. Thank you. Anyway, Jackson, you were saying.
Yeah, I guess to dive into today, we get to the point where the idea of Drew going has kind of subsided, and it's looking to be all right. It's going to be Melody or Lyric depending on Battle of the Block, and then it's the ideas pitched to Angela. Angela is down to keep Drew, and then D pitches the idea of, what if we just turn against the red corner? And how would they do that? They're like, what if we just keep evict Lyric? And then it just keeps going from there. And then shortly after, that was about 4 hours before the eviction. And coming up, like they got their support coming to the vote to make it 8-3 to get out Lyric after Drew winning Battle of Block. I didn't know that information at the time of the eviction. I was surprised that it was Lyric that was getting these votes to start out. I was like, what did I miss? And then sure enough, I missed all that.
Yeah. I think it was obvious if Drew was on the block or if he was still there, like didn't win the Blockbuster, then the other person was going home. But there wasn't a whole lot of talk that I saw about if the two girls were on.
Mhm.
And going back to what you said about like Drew was the fake pawn, he was the focus. Everyone was in on it, basically, in the tool shed except for him. Now he's still here. I think that is like that's currency, that bit of information for someone to go to him and be like, hey, all of week 4, you were actually the target. And it's just the last couple hours that we decided to save you. And
Well, and the fact that he got the Blockbuster too.
oh, yes. But that was, I mean, I guess like more detail, that was already the plan, even if he didn't win it. I don't know. I just feel like who tells him that is going to be, that's going to kind of sway, like, does he go after the red corner or does the red corner reveal that and he go after like icons and the other side of the tool shed?
No, that's fair.
I do think the good thing is he's going to get told that, hey, you were the target. I can't confirm if he had already been told that, but for like two and a half days, Drew was gone.
Mm-hmm.
He was gone.
Yeah.
And for him to still be here and to even having Mallory, hey, I told him on 2 separate days that, hey, it doesn't look good for you. I think you're the one going. And him to then, honestly, his ignorance is bliss attitude saved him this week, because if he would have been pushing and actually scared that he was going home and trying to game and scheme, they probably wouldn't have kept him.
Because all it would have taken was that famous moment we see across Survivor, Big Brother, Traitors even. Oh, I'm doing good. I've got this. As soon as that confidence hits, freaking done. You know they're out of there. So I think it, like you said, Jackson, it was the ignorance is bliss kept him from ruining his own game. And things kind of, as they do in these games, they kind of fall to his to his advantage there. And I think it's worth putting up here too. All 4 losers, or all 4 people that have been evicted so far, have been the veto replacement nomination. They were not up there originally. So whether it was an actual manufactured backdoor or not, we have had 4 backdoors so far in the first 4 weeks. Makes you, I guess I speculate on that with Alyssa. You brought up like, how good is this season? As always, we see every first month of Big Brother, oh, this is the worst season ever. It's a terrible cast. Now, I will say, I didn't hate the arguments there over the last, 6 of the last 8 seasons, maybe. It hasn't been great. It's been rough starts on some of them, but I do think it's an interesting group. Maybe they're not exactly playing like we want, but I don't think players play like we want to anyway over the last half decade. You know, like, this game has evolved.
I mean, to your point, in the first 4 evictions, there's been 2 backdoors and a blindside. So,
I wonder if the house guests recognize that, because not all of those were. Well, Rome was intentional, but like not every week has started and followed through in the same way. Like there's been a pivot every week.
Yeah, and even when it was Rome and Jason that were like, hey, these are the targets, at times it got pivoted to it might not be.
Yeah.
Rome was always a little bit more, hey, it's probably going to be Rome. But I think it leaves the door open, especially for what we have upcoming tonight, which probably by the time this episode comes out, we will have known who will win.
Maybe it sounds like they might be flirting with it tomorrow with the Unlocked episode, or if you're watching this on Friday, today with the Unlocked episode. So they might not actually run it until then. It seems like they are trying to integrate that episode almost as the 4th episode of the week.
Okay. Well, anyway, what we were getting into, the next HOH competition. The wall. Now,
this is where Mallory's gonna fucking shine. That low center of gravity, some good grip.
The white knuckler.
The pipe queen.
I hate that nickname for her.
Man.
I'm so glad that died. I'm so glad it died.
She brought it up
Mario
today.
Instead, is
yesterday.
that less? You said
Yikes.
what?
She brought up the pipe queen. I think was it yesterday or today? I think
Girl.
when Morgan came or whatever, but it'll be interesting because like I mean you look back at like the history of the wall, like it's typically that like thinner framed body is typically that archetype that typically wins.
Mhm.
But you look recently over the past couple of years,
Yeah.
it's more about where those handholds are going to be. Are you going to like if your arms are up here and have to be down? I don't think like that's not a good angle for someone that's 5'4".
That's true.
Like
Someone that's a little bit
it
bigger.
really depends, like
gonna-
because like sometimes like the strategy for years was to be able to crouch down and have your be pushing up on it. Well, then they put the little block that's in between your legs where you couldn't crouch down. So I'm really excited to see kind of what the wall is going to look like and who's going to be able to survive. I think Angela first to go.
Oh, 100%.
All my money on that. If there's not a Kalshi on that,
too.
I want that right now.
As of right now, we don't have a wall hang odds, but that would be dope. 3 of the last 4 have been men, and then Taylor was the lone woman that's won in the last 4 years. But yeah, muscles have proven to fare a lot better the last few years instead of that that string bean that's going up there and contorting in whatever way to kind of get that advantage in the grip. It seems like the muscle is kind of playing into that, so it'll be interesting. God, I just hope we don't get another Kamu win. I hope this is the week that his arrogance just takes him out.
That's what I was about to say. Could we throw up the list of the contestants? I kind of want to pick out to see who we think is going to take the wall.
Mm.
I
I wonder if the degree of tilt has changed over the years.
I think it'll vary because sometimes it tries to like shake them off. It'll go up and then down and come
so
up
we've
and
got
then
D,
sprayed in the face.
Rick Devens, Mallory, Yash, Barrett, Drew, Taylor, Angela, Kamu, Chuck, Haley, Melody.
Mallory, Yash, Drew.
I could see D doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah.
Barrett, he might be too long. I think his handholds is going to throw him off. Yeah. Taylor, I could see making a pretty long go at it. Chuck, I think he's too dense.
Yep.
He's going to cramp up. Those shoulders are too big.
I don't think Melody has this one. Unfortunately, I don't see her.
I could see Haley lasting a decent amount of time.
Haley won't be in it.
Play.
Oh, she can't. She can't. That's right. Latrice, she'll be bottom third.
Lala won't win. She's got long nails. You can't grip or shit with long nails.
I was going to say, she's a pretty fit lady, too.
That's what I'm saying. Bottom third.
Yeah.
Maybe not last, but bottom third.
Oh, I think that she could. I mean, her versus Devens, I could see her lasting longer.
Oh, yeah. Rick Devens will be one of the first. I could see him be one of the first to go. Honestly, I think it's like D, Mallory, and probably Kamu would be my top 3.
Mm-hmm. I wish Angela was still in the egg costume. Oh my God. I would pay to watch Angela fall off the wall in an egg costume.
I am a little upset that we haven't had a punishment a little bit.
There's the Humpty Dumpty jokes just write themselves. What's up? Talk to me.
You brought up the, Kalshi on the wall. We don't have that. But can we talk about the 2028 or the season 28 winner right now? As you would guess, D is rocking a 25% chance to win. Rick Devens, as you would probably presume, is coming in at second, 19%. Alyssa, quit cheating. I want you guys to give me a guess at who you think is third best odds to win the season right now.
Is it Barrett?
Nope.
Oh.
Barrett's been down for a while.
I thought I remembered.
Third best.
Now, mind
odds.
you, after the top 2, they're all pretty close. But this one's got a couple percent chance higher than everybody else.
I'd probably say Mallory.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought it was going to get you. Yeah, Mallory has third best odds right now at a 10% chance.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's Mallory, Yash, Barrett, Drew.
She's got the biggest resume.
She has the most confidence.
And
And
I
she's
think
the
she
one
is.
that's people have seen her win more than anyone else.
Yeah, she may not be the superstar athlete, but I think she's built just right to win a good majority of the competitions. You know, especially when it comes to the puzzles, the mind ones. But then, just as far as like, you know, she's not big, she's not small, she's like right, you know, like she's right there in between. You know, she may not be uber muscular, but like I said in the wall hang, she's not super big. She doesn't have a lot to hold on to.
She's athletic and
Yeah,
But not
quick.
athletic enough where she looks like a threat.
Yeah, I'd agree. I did do some Instagram sleuthing a while ago. She is a rock climber, so I think she.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That grip, baby.
Okay. So wall hang, man. I wish we couldn't put a bet on that. That'd be fun. Awesome. What else you guys want to touch on before we get out of here tonight?
I think that's about it. I mean, it's really a lot of next week is really just going to decide on how this HOH will fall. I mean, if it is another Kamu one, I think we know roughly who his targets will be. I don't think the icons will be safe. If the icons win, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they will pivot this.
I'm ready to see an icon on the block. I want to see one.
I am too. Yeah, I agree with you. But you know, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see an underdog take this. Like if we can have a Mallory who I think will shake things up.
See, that's the crappy thing is we just had an underdog week, and it was an underdog that just.
We need a bold underdog.
She's not an underdog. She's on the dominant powerhouse alliance.
But
she's like a house dog. Like she's a dog. She's got some bite, but she stays in the house. No, she just doesn't get her paws dirty. Like she doesn't know how to be a leader. I think Mallory would be a great HOH because she actually has a game to play. Like she and Melody are now officially in.
Those are my 1-2 on who I want to take this week. All right. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Sweet. Well, folks, we're going to shut her down. Alyssa, you got anything else? That's all you had?
Nope. It's a wrap.
That's a wrap, folks. Well, everybody, we can't thank you enough for hanging out with us here on In Between the Screens. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, checking out all the information. We'll be hitting you every Thursday night. Sunday nights, too, if we have to. But here on In Between Media, come see all the things. We've got TV, we've got movies, we've got fun all the time. See you later.
I nailed that one.
Nobody got it.
I missed it.